I like this flag. We need a blue box flag. If we were to have a blue box flag, who wants to design it? Who wants to win the chance to design blue box flag? I can't say that fast.
Yeah, and they want to do maybe each star is a flower of life.
That'd be kind of dope. Or just different sacred geometries.
Hey everybody, welcome into Folklore and Flourish. You're here with Jane and Mark. Today is March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Perfect. Today is the Revelation. So with March 17th, it is the Revelation. And the theme is awakening truth. So these are 4 stories where our heroes kind of awaken into who they're meant to be. We're going to see that through Christian, Buddhist, Aztec, and Norse mythology today. So we will see you after these 4 stories. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1. Saul's Vision on the Road to Damascus. In the early years after the death of Jesus of Nazareth, a new religious movement began spreading through the cities of the Roman world. Followers of Jesus believed he had risen from the dead and was the promised Messiah. They gathered in homes, shared teachings, and proclaimed that a new covenant had begun. But not everyone welcomed their message. Among the most determined opponents of the movement was a man named Saul of Tarsus. Saul was a devout Pharisee, deeply trained in Jewish law and tradition. He believed the new movement threatened the stability of faith and the authority of religious teaching. Determined to stop its spread, Saul actively sought out the followers of Jesus. He approved the imprisonment of believers and pursued them from city to city. Eventually, Saul obtained permission from the high priest in Jerusalem to travel north to the city of Damascus. There, he planned to arrest more followers and bring them back to Jerusalem for judgment. As Saul and his companions traveled along the dusty road toward the city, the sun stood high in the sky. Then, something extraordinary happened. A brilliant light suddenly flashed around him, brighter than the midday sun. Saul fell to the ground. From the light came a voice calling his name. "Saul, Saul," the voice said, "why do you persecute me?" Startled and confused, Saul answered, "Who are you, Lord?" The voice replied, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting." When Saul rose from the ground, he discovered that he could no longer see. Though his eyes were open, darkness surrounded him. His companions led him by the hand into Damascus. For 3 days, Saul remained blind. He did not eat or drink. During this time, he began to reflect on the experience that had shaken his understanding of everything he believed. Meanwhile, in Damascus, a follower of Jesus named Ananias received a vision instructing him to visit Saul. At first, Ananias hesitated. Saul's reputation as a persecutor was well known. Yet the vision insisted. Ananias went to the house where Saul was staying and placed his hands upon him. As he prayed, Saul's sight returned. The experience transformed him. The man who once pursued believers now became one of their most passionate teachers. Saul soon became known by the name Paul and traveled widely through the Roman world, sharing the message of the faith he had once opposed. The moment on the road to Damascus became one of the most powerful examples of revelation in religious history. For sometimes, the moment that changes everything arrives without warning. A flash of light, a voice in the silence, and suddenly the path of a life is forever altered. Story 2. The Buddha's Awakening Beneath the Bodhi Tree. Long before he became known as the Buddha, he was a prince named Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha was born in the kingdom of the Shakya clan in northern India during the 6th century BCE. His father, King Shuddhodana, hoped that his son would one day become a great ruler. At Siddhartha's birth, sages made a prophecy. They said the child would become either a powerful king or a great spiritual teacher who would change the world. Fearing the second path, the king surrounded the young prince with luxury and beauty. Within the palace walls, Siddhartha experienced only comfort. Music filled the halls, gardens bloomed endlessly, and servants attended his every need. But the world beyond the palace was different. One day, Siddhartha ventured outside and encountered sights he had never been allowed to see. First, he saw an old man. His back was bent, his hair white, his steps slow. Siddhartha asked his companion what had happened to the man. "This is old age," the attendant replied. "All who live long enough must face it." On another journey, he saw a sick man suffering with disease. Later, he saw a funeral procession carrying the body of someone who had died. These moments unsettled him deeply. If aging, illness, and death awaited everyone, how could comfort and wealth truly protect anyone? During a fourth journey, Siddhartha encountered something different. He saw a wandering holy man of Shramana who had renounced worldly life in search of spiritual truth. The man's face was calm. In that moment, Siddhartha realized another path might exist. At the age of 29, he quietly left the palace in the night. Leaving behind wealth, title, and family, he began a long search for understanding. Siddhartha studied under several respected teachers and practiced intense meditation. Eventually, he joined ascetics who believed enlightenment could be reached through extreme self-denial. For years, Siddhartha pushed his body to its limits. He ate almost nothing. His body grew thin and weak. Yet the answers he sought remained distant. Finally, Siddhartha realized that suffering alone did not bring wisdom. He accepted a simple meal from a village woman named Sujata and regained his strength. Then he walked to a quiet place beside the Nirajana river. There stood a great fig tree. Siddhartha sat beneath it and made a vow. "I will not rise from this place," he said, "until I understand the nature of suffering and the path to freedom." As night fell, he entered deep meditation. According to tradition, the demon Mara appeared, representing fear, doubt, and temptation. Mara tried to distract Siddhartha with visions and threats, but Siddhartha remained still. Through the long night, he reflected on existence itself. He saw the endless cycle of birth, suffering, death, and rebirth. He understood that attachment and ignorance bound living beings to this cycle. As dawn approached, Siddhartha's mind became perfectly clear. In that moment, he awakened to a profound realization. He understood the Four Noble Truths, the insight that suffering arises from craving and that freedom is possible through the eightfold path of right understanding, action, and awareness. When the morning star appeared in the sky, Siddhartha's search ended. He had become the Buddha. The tree beneath which he awakened became known as the Bodhi tree, meaning the tree of enlightenment. From that day forward, the Buddha traveled throughout northern India, teaching others the path he had discovered. His awakening became one of the most significant moments in spiritual history, for it revealed that profound transformation does not come through force or wealth. It comes through seeing clearly, and once truth is seen, the world itself appears different. Story 3. Quetzalcoatl's vision of the fifth sun. In the cosmology of the Aztec world, the universe was not stable or eternal. It moved through great cycles of creation and destruction known as the suns. Each sun represented an age of the world, and each age eventually ended in catastrophe. The Aztec people believed they lived under the fifth sun, the current era of existence. But the story of how this age began reaches back to a moment of divine revelation among the gods themselves. Among these gods was Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, a deity associated with wind, knowledge, and the morning star. Quetzalcoatl was not a god of chaos or destruction like some of his divine kin. He was remembered as a bringer of wisdom and culture, a teacher who valued order, learning, and balance. After the destruction of the previous world, darkness covered the heavens. The gods gathered in the sacred city of Teotihuacan, where the pyramids stood like mountains against the horizon. They had come to determine how the next world would begin. At the center of the gathering burned a great fire. The gods knew that one among them must sacrifice themselves within the flames in order to become the new sun. At first, no one moved. The task meant death. Eventually, a humble and diseased god named Nanawatsin stepped forward. Though his body was covered with sores, he possessed courage that many of the other gods lacked. The proud god, Tecatl, also stepped forward, believing himself worthy of becoming the sun. One by one, the gods prepared for the ritual. 4 days passed as they fasted and prayed. When the moment arrived, Tecatl approached the fire first. Yet when he felt the heat of the flames, he hesitated and stepped back. Nanawatsin did not hesitate. Closing his eyes, he leapt directly into the sacred fire. The flames consumed him. Ash rose into the sky. Seeing this act of courage, Tecatl gathered his resolve and followed into the fire as well. Soon, 2 brilliant lights appeared into the heavens. 2 suns had been born. The gods feared that 2 suns would burn the world. To restore balance, one of the gods struck Tecatl with a rabbit, dimming his light so that he became the moon. Nanawatsin remained the true sun, but the new sun did not move across the sky. It remained still above the horizon. The gods realized that another sacrifice was required. The sun would not travel across the heavens until the other gods gave their own lives to set the universe in motion. Quetzalcoatl understood the meaning of this moment. The birth of a new world required more than power. It required sacrifice and vision. With solemn determination, Quetzalcoatl took a ceremonial blade and began the sacred offering. One by one, the gods gave their lives. Their sacrifice filled the cosmos with movement. At last, the sun began its journey across the sky. Day and night were born. Wind stirred across the earth. Life returned. Through this revelation, the gods understood something profound. Creation itself demanded courage and sacrifice. Without it, even the sun would remain still. The Aztec people remembered this story as a reminder that the balance of the world depended upon devotion, humility, and responsibility. For the gods themselves had shown that even divine beings must give something of themselves to keep the universe alive. And in the quiet moment before the sun first moved, Quetzalcoatl saw clearly the fragile balance upon which the world depended. Story 4, Odin and the Runes of Wisdom. In the ancient cosmology of the Norse people, wisdom was never given freely. It had to be pursued, sacrificed for, and often painfully earned. Among the gods of Asgard, none pursued knowledge more fiercely than Odin, the All-Father and ruler of the gods. Odin was not simply a warrior king, he was a seeker. He believed that wisdom was the greatest power in the universe, greater even than strength, for knowledge could reveal the hidden patterns that shaped fate. The Norse believed the universe was held together by a great cosmic tree called Yggdrasil. Its roots stretched deep into the worlds beneath, while its branches held the heavens above. 9 realms existed within its vast structure. Among these realms were Asgard, the home of the gods, Midgard, the world of humankind, and Helheim, the land of the dead. At the base of Yggdrasil lay deep wells of knowledge guarded by mysterious beings. Odin had already sacrificed much in his pursuit of wisdom. At one of these wells, the well of Mimir, he gave up one of his eyes in exchange for a single drink of its waters. Yet even this sacrifice did not reveal everything. There remained a deeper mystery, the runes. The runes were ancient symbols of power and knowledge. They were more than letters. Each rune held the force connected to the laws of the universe. They were believed to contain secrets of fate, magic, and creation itself. But these runes were hidden. They could not simply be studied or inherited. They had to be discovered through revelation. To obtain his knowledge, Odin chose a path few beings would dare. He performed a ritual sacrifice upon the great tree itself. According to the ancient poem, Halvan Mal, Odin hung himself upon Yggdrasil. For 9 nights he remained suspended from the tree. No food, no drink, no comfort. A spear pierced his side. The wind moved through the branches above him while the roots stretched down into the darkness below. Odin hung between life and death. During those long nights, he gazed downward into the depths beneath the tree. There, within the darkness, something began to appear. Shapes, symbols. The runes slowly revealed themselves. One by one, Odin understood their meaning. Each symbol carried knowledge. Each held a key to the forces that shaped reality. At the end of the 9th night, as his strength nearly failed, Odin grasped the runes. With this revelation came profound understanding. He fell from the tree, no longer merely a king of gods, but a master of sacred knowledge. Through the runes, Odin gained the ability to understand fate, heal wounds, calm storms, and speak powerful spells. Yet the story was never told as a tale of easy triumph. It was remembered as a lesson. Wisdom demands sacrifice. Revelation arrives only when the seeker is willing to endure uncertainty, pain, and transformation. The Norse believed Odin's sacrifice made knowledge available to both gods and humans. The runes became symbols used in writing, magic, and prophecy across the Norse world. Even today, they remain among the most enduring symbols of ancient northern mythology. For Odin's story reminds us of a powerful truth. Some knowledge cannot be taught. It must be discovered through struggle. And when it finally arrives, the one who receives it is never the same. Hey everybody, welcome back in. Hope you enjoyed those 4 stories. Today was all about the revelation and the theme of awakening truth. So our lesson today is that vision overturns fate. So vision overturns fate today. So we had 4 stories. The first story comes from Christian mythology or folklore. So this is Saul's vision to the road to Damascus. So blinded for 3 days. What do you think?
I like this story. I think it's cool that, it showcases that Jesus not only helped people heal, but his disciples also did. Just to me reaffirms more of Jesus wasn't trying to teach Christianity. He was trying to teach ways to heal, and show compassion through love. And I believe that's what his teachings really showcases that, this guy that is prosecuting all these people and turns them blind. Most people will be like, you got what you got, right? But not Yeshua. He's like, no, now go to him. This is what I want you to do. And then it ended up being Paul, who was how powerful within, the Gospels as they're written. Very powerful.
I don't know very much about Paul. I don't know anything about Paul, actually.
I know he's got a 4-letter name. That starts with a B.
Yeah, so the important note for his story is that revelation often arrives when certainty collapses. So he's literally stripped from his sight just so that he could see. Story 2, the Buddha awakening beneath the Bodhi tree. So this was the first time we heard that he was 29 years old. That's pretty interesting.
Right.
Because we're Blue Box 29.
29 is very significant to us. So when I heard it today and heard that he was 29, I was like, what? He was 29? So, and I always kind of resonate a little bit with the stories of the Buddha. I just like his teachings. I like that Buddhism itself isn't a religion. It's just a way, to be, not do this or nothing. That's where the big difference is, I think. I haven't studied enough to really say everything I love about it, but I know the stuff I do know, I I enjoy from it. And just what he did going from having everything to not needing it, to being like, wait, even if I have all this money and all this power, I'm still gonna die. Like, that ain't gonna keep it away from me.
I think one of the big things that got me into Buddhism when I was younger was the fact that it wasn't like you were just allowed to be. Like he emphasizes not only restraint, but force. Like force isn't going to help either. Like I like how the Buddha and Buddhism in general is just kind of like just be. Like everything's just being in their own flow rather than like making everything difficult. Everything's just doing its own thing and surviving how it can, surviving how it's to kind of, because you still enjoy it, but it's also important not to force things.
Right.
Like you're just allowed to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Buddhism is like about controlling yourself, like controlling your emotions. But I think you can only control and be master of your emotions by 1000% acknowledging them, like having felt them. Like I think that I mean I can't go into the monasteries. I still don't think that they allow women in, but I would think that that would be I would assume, that'd be a major practice is how do you fully embrace that emotion when it comes, whatever it may be, you know? So I don't think it's they master to where they don't feel anything, like the monks that are under the freezing cold water and stuff. I don't think it's that they don't feel anything. I think that they just control it.
They can
Like
tolerate it.
they can
understand what
bring
the
up
pain
the
is.
emotion that might counteract that feeling,
Right.
the physical feeling, because our chemicals, we can change them
Yes.
based on our. So it's also mastering your emotions is knowing exactly when to allow them to rise and when to let them take full control and then when to not let them show.
How amazing would that feel that in any and every moment, no matter the situation, you would just be like exactly who you are. You would react accordingly. And you wouldn't freak out. You would assess the situation probably rapidly. And I don't know, it would just be pretty nice. I used to be really good at that. Not everywhere with everything, but with a lot of things where in the, recent amount of years or whenever, I don't even know when I noticed it, but recently, yeah, that switch has changed dramatically. But it's in different situations where I'm still able to be calm with crazy stuff going on, but not when other people are acting certain ways that affect me. Then I have a less of a switch. Like, whereas before I'm able to sit there and look at somebody, now I react. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. I just know something within me chemically has changed. And it would be nice to not react like that. I don't.
I think my biggest thing is like I just don't like being suppressed, like in expressing my emotions. And I feel like that's all I hear whenever I have them. It's like, don't though. And I wish that I would have, like, some of this social emotional healing was available when I was like younger, where I learned how to like yell and stuff. Like, I don't yell, I don't really raise my voice. Like, I have to really feel that temperament to raise it. But I don't know, just in a lot of things, like with crying, I feel better after I cry,
Mm-hmm.
but like nothing to do with my rage. So it just like sits there.
Mm.
And then it's like, doesn't feel good when people tell you not to feel it. Like, just don't. It's like,
What does
I
a
don't,
Buddhist say with that feeling? How are you supposed to do with that feeling?
well, it's just all about letting go of like tangible things, like those kind of emotions. I just, well, no, we say like it would be like easy to do that, but we don't live in a world like the Buddha.
No, that's so
We
true.
live in a world where they have forced us to be so dependent on being treated like crap. that we have to go to places where we have to kiss people's butts to be treated like humans,
Right.
to be given any sort of decency, to like hospitals, to education. Like, how dare you ask about things like
Right.
you? And I'm just over it. And so I don't know. So it's like, yeah, I would love to live in a world where we don't have to be impacted by those things. But like people intentionally choose to be total twats. They like intentionally choose it. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I got in a fight with, I don't care. I don't care. I called you as a professional. You're not my friend. Like, I don't care. And then to be like, well, don't let people get to you. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just like getting annoyed with it because I would just like to have like better help with that kind of stuff rather than like it always feeling like I should feel invalidated, like I'm not valid in my feelings is what it feels like. And so when Molly screams at me and tries to drink my tea, I just had enough. I don't know. It's just like, I don't blame people for not wanting to go out in public. I don't. Like, I'm an extrovert and I don't want to go be out in public, like, at all anymore. Like, I see, like, my small group I feel really good around. And then I just, like, race home.
I don't. Like, unless I'm kicking it with you, I don't really see a reason to go out. Maybe with my parents or something, but I don't know. Just, it's the same thing. I could go in there in 5 years. It's gonna be the same thing. Might be a couple different people in the chairs.
I think that's why I'm not, like, super pumped about today. Like, I like having the meals and stuff and getting to go to the VFW and then going to, like, my dad's and stuff and
Yeah.
having those meals, celebrating that way, but it's just like a drunk fest. It's just another excuse for us to go drink in the middle of the week.
Right.
Like, really, because it's the same people that are there that are going to be there Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, oh, let's do this again.
And it's not like that's a bad thing. I'm tired of feeling bad because I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like, that's what's irritating is, oh, well, you're too good because you don't want to drink and party. No, I just don't want to feel like crap.
Right.
Like,
That
I want
part.
to go to sleep early. I don't want to have the sugar high and crash. And then it's like, no, you're just too good. You're condescending. And it's like, no. And that's why I'm like, I wish we did live in a time where we could just go be ourselves. But we go on a walk and someone's like taking pictures, like, well, what are you doing out here on public land? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's how it is. It's like the people that are like, that say, oh, kids are never outdoors anymore. And then they go call the police when they're outside on their dirt bikes and stuff because they're making too much noise.
Yeah. That bugs me.
Like, I feel like those people are all intentionally placed, like scattered all throughout so that like the rest of us can't just enjoy our lives and like make things simple.
Yeah. They're like bots set up.
Just like the money.
Every Karen is just a bot. They're a NPC.
Yeah.
Just in here to just destroy people's like, but not even like just to give you a lesson, like to teach you, maybe to teach you some humility sometimes, maybe to teach you some patience. I don't know, teach you how to karate chop a Karen.
Well,
There's all kinds of options.
look at how like I'm so tired today. Like I told you, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, you seem pretty beat.
From one conversation, like, and yeah, I get that I let that get to me, but when it's like the matter that I have to already deal with, and I'm like, what? It's just silliness. It's just silliness. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to story 3. This is where we see something that actually influences the rest of them to sacrifice themselves. So this was after the 2 sons. We've seen that story a couple times this year. And the second one stepped in, right? Because he saw the other one's courage and was kind of like, ooh, well, no, I want to come back in because I want to do this and too. Maybe I'm more worthy and probably am. And I like how the gods, he jumped second, so he'll be the moon.
Yeah.
Like he won't be as bright. He jumped back in. Like if they would have chosen the other way, that lifespan of the sun would have lasted way less, like, because it already showed that it didn't have like what it takes. But I like that it's okay, sweetheart. I like how the gods are like, okay, it's not enough. Like it requires all of us. That's kind of like what faith is. It requires to be all in, especially on the things that are uncertain. Like that's the whole point.
Right.
And I kind of had that talk with my dad today because I called him and I was asking, because he's obviously spent a lot more time in church than I have and having like discussions with priests and stuff. But I asked him what he knew about Judas and the devil and all this stuff. And he just said those inquiries are exactly what ended. Whatever you think the creator is, he created us with these minds and with all these things around us so that we would inquire, so that we would ask questions, because that's what faith is. He doesn't want blind faith. He wants you to be in it.
Yeah.
Not I'm in it because other people are in it or they did it. It's
I'm in it
you're in
because
it
if
for
I'm not
you.
in it, I'm going to get in trouble.
You're in it for you and I, and that's it. She's struggling because her toes are kind of hurting. She almost dipped her tail in my tea. Get him.
Why'd you bite me?
I just picked it because it also showcases, and I think it is a faith story. The epitome of faith. You have to have faith at being of the sun and the moon that are with faith as well.
Yeah.
Because we're not always going to be courageous. We're not always going to do the right thing. Some days we're going to allow people to get in our energy. The day will suck until it doesn't anymore, but you can't like force it. You just got to let it be with tea and kitties.
It's a great poem that you just did.
And
I like this flag. We need a blue box flag. If we were to have a blue box flag, who wants to design it? Who wants to win the chance to design blue box flag? I can't say that fast.
Yeah, and they want to do maybe each star is a flower of life.
That'd be kind of dope. Or just different sacred geometries.
Anyways, let's go into story 4. Our last story kind of reminded me about the Hebrew letter. So we talked about the other day. Because they are the runes, and they're more than just words.
Right.
Like there's a reason that they've lasted. They're symbols, their picture. They have so much sacred knowledge in them. And you said that the Hebrews with the 22 letters, they found those? Isn't that what you said?
It's Jason Shurka, and what he said is that they found the letters, and then that's like, so the letters themselves, the symbols, that symbol, when it's a vibration, when it's played, it makes those sounds. So like when you say those sounds of those letters, makes that sound. So they match. Yeah, it matches. So it's not just like, hey, we found these letters. No, it's like it matches 100% the vibration of what they're saying.
Dude, something trippy happened to me today.
Tell me about it.
Like really trippy, but I want to tell you this Odin thing first. So the ones that he found, they never had an exact number, right?
Okay.
But some interpretations say 24, the full set. But what if? 22 and 24 are very close.
Well, what if it was 22 and missing 2?
And that's what I'm saying.
And
or what if 2 were made? 2 were man-made.
To fit in because we're like, wait.
The Greeks never had the letter J, but we see J, like Ajax, in the Greek stuff. We see the letter J show up, but I'm pretty sure that Greeks didn't use the letter J.
Huh.
I don't think that's one of them. But it just could be Saul turning into Paul.
Yeah.
Right? Little letter shifts because of the vibration that comes off of them. It's like a serpent, right? To like pass over all of that stuff that are a little bit lighter piece, It's just interesting how one little thing or two letters,
could change a whole lot of stuff.
Right. And then I don't know if I want to share that thing on camera. I think I want to share with you off camera or
Okay.
maybe at the end. But no, something really trippy happened to me during that interview today. Like I have no explanation for it. I didn't analyze it or anything. I just remember it happened. I recognized it, acknowledged that it was happening, and then it was gone. And it was all through my vision. Like I just saw it. You know, it was something that I was seeing that wasn't really happening. I'm really excited.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't mean like I was visualizing it, like the letters. It was the letters were coming out of something. It was so trippy. Okay. The daily thread, though, today we encounter the revelation, the moment when truth suddenly becomes clear and the path ahead changes forever. On the road to Damascus, Saul encountered a blinding light and a voice that overturned everything he believed, transforming the persecutor into Paul, a messenger of faith. Beneath the Bodhi tree, Siddhartha Gautama remained in meditation through the night until awakening as the Buddha, seeing clearly the nature of suffering and the path beyond it. At the sacred fire, the sacrifices revealed to the gods that courage and devotion were required to set the sun itself in motion. And upon the branches of Yggdrasil, Odin endured 9 nights of sacrifice where the hidden runes revealed their wisdom. Each of these moments reminds us that revelation does not arrive gently. It breaks through certainty, shatters souled understanding, and invites a deeper vision. What moment in your life changed the way you see everything? Fate shifts when truth is fully received. And 9, right? We were talking about how we are on the first year of a 9-year cycle. 9 days could very easily be 9 years. Time is relative, right?
Yeah.
So he could have hung there for 9 years too. And so we're in just the first stage, right? We would be in the early stages. But also if it was 9, maybe it was 9 months, in which case we're hitting the end, going into a new phase. So it's just cool, like how you see all these numbers. And I'm saying the numbers because the runes, they still survive today. And that's what they emphasize, right? Some of these things are still surviving and now things are being covered to where we are changing things back to their original vibration because we want to hear it. When we hear it and it feels right, we're like, okay, because it's not on faith, can't rely on fact all the time. Faith doesn't rely on what can be seen or explained.
Right.
Right.
It's not supposed to be.
It's not
faith
supposed
is
to be.
the unseen.
And I think that's part of what the Buddha learned. I think that's part of enlightenment. And I think it's different for all of us, but also very same. Like, I think that's probably what it is. Like, it's vastly unique and individualized, but it's all the same because it's all the source. Like, it's all our main back to. But all of these revelations are, some of them are a little bit more forced than others. Not some, all of them, they kind of had to do alone, even when they were with people. They all had choices to make. It all required some sort of sacrifice. So whether it was Saul going blind, right? Doesn't go into detail whether he thinks he's going to earn his sight back or not, right? So he has a huge shift. He's kind of forced to open his eyes.
I don't think he knows that he's going to get it back.
No.
I think he thinks, man, they should not have been following that guy because he is him. So then at that point, he's like, shit, well, yeah, I know who Jesus is and I was going to kill him. Like, and now I'm blind because of it. That's shame on me. So
and he didn't get his revelation until after he earned his sight again, right?
I mean, he kind of saw
like
it
he was
within, but
he was shook because he
lost it, and it's like, oh, woe was me. But then as soon as they give it back to him, it's like, okay, you guys are legit.
Like, I didn't know that the Lord was like God was talking to anybody after the Old Testament. I thought that he stopped doing that. Like, and then we see Saul, who's here after Jesus, and he's getting spoken to directly. Like, drop to your knees, humbled. And it does remind me a lot of some of these mythological deities, right? Like how they did that. They would make people kneel, and not necessarily that that's what God's doing, but he does bring him to his knees. He humbles him, and it kind of just me think about how easily we as humans, or we down here, or whatever we really are, right? Just how easy it is for things to change if we needed it to. And now it's like, no, like get on your right path sometimes. Like sometimes it feels like you're moving a character on a chessboard and you're like, just get in your spot. Like just do your job. Go down this path. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But I like how in the Aztec culture, there's some of the only gods that we see willingly sacrifice themselves for humankind. And it kind of reminds me a lot of the Anunnaki stuff. Not necessarily that the Anunnaki sacrifice themselves, but that removal of that divine presence from being here. Why are you? We've done what we can. They have to survive on their own.
Right.
Never knowing if they'll come back, never knowing anything. They're sacrificing, intending to go, but who knows if that's the end. You know, they might be sent back to come fix things.
Yeah.
Or to restart things. Or maybe that's us restarting things. Like we could just be in this cycle of years, then it stops again, and all of a sudden the Messiah is born, and like all that stuff. It could just be a continuous
loop.
Yeah. And with that today, the lesson of vision overturns, and we don't always need to see to have vision, right? But that's kind of like you have to have vision because your dreams aren't, they're not there. They're not this grand thing that we come up with head. We have to visualize it as that because that is the vision. That is where we're going mentally. So we're pushing our brain to produce the chemicals to get us there, the right motivation, whatever it may be. So the question of today with those that we're going to think about is what changed everything? What was my revelation? What changed the way I see things? Or what shook me so hard that I still don't know how I see them? And then our activity today is write down one moment that altered your understanding. So write down a moment that actually altered your understanding of things, whatever it may be. And it could be something you've seen, something you experienced, like it could be anything. It's just something that altered your understanding. And it could be a poem, a movie, an activity, or an event you went to, a memory. But we're going to leave you with the thought of fate shifts when truth is finally received. So fate shifts when finally receive, acknowledge. We've been through this, right? We've heard it. We acknowledge it. Now we pursue it. But we really have to receive it too, receive our truth.
Yeah.
It's also about accepting it, not just acknowledging and being like, hey, this is who I am, but truly embracing it. So sometimes it's a little bit easier than other times, though. All right. But with that, that's all that I have for March 17th for St. Patrick's Day. Did you have anything?
I don't think so.
It was a really cool hat.
It's a cool hat. A cool chick got it for me. Do you see what it is?
Oh my gosh, did I get that at Reggae Rise Up?
You sure did, shorty.
Yeah.
You said, let me buy that for you.
That was the girl that was telling me that my wig looked good. Remember? It's like, oh my gosh, I would not have thought that was a wig.
Oh, yeah. That was your white hair day, wasn't it?
No, it was my brunette. It was when I wore my brunette one with the thing, I believe. Yeah.
You're a lot of sexiness.
I like dressed up sometimes, but
Yeah, it's fun.
then you get on the show and you wear your best wig.
I had to. St. Patrick's Day.
So goose. Anyways, that's all that I have for you guys today. And we will see you tomorrow.
See you guys. Thanks for coming in. Love you.